I've been at Nebing since the fall of 2019, and before that I moved from a even smaller local municipality, nearby municipality. This is a view from the Nebing office, and I didn't want to show you the 1960s school because that's pretty standard. We've all seen 1960s schools, but this is a view from our office door. So that's what I look out onto. So where am I and why am I here? Well, we know why I'm here, but where Nebing is we're around the horn of Lake Superior, just north of Minnesota. So Nebing borders the Minnesota border. So Thunder Bay is here, Nebing is here. And Nebing is a large rural municipality. There's no street lights. There's no city center. The picture of the drive home here, this in snow, this is my drive home. So this is how I get to work. And if you look on the Nebing map, this is our actual parcel map, and you'll see white spaces in the middle there. And those are unpatented Crown land. So it's land without a roll number, unassessed land. So there's even unassessed land in Nebing. So there's some more beautiful pictures. We are on the shore of Lake Superior, so that thank goodness we have some assessment from Lakeside Properties. And we have 89 kilometers of chip sealed roads that we maintain. So here's some comparisons. Nebing's, we say we're a large municipality. Nebing is 877 square kilometers. I grew up in Etobicoke, so I had to do this chart with Etobicoke first. So I looked at the size. I thought, well, how do we compare? Because Etobicoke's pretty big. Well, I had to add up all of those Western municipalities west of the GTA to figure out that they still don't add up to Nebing. So then I thought some of you might be from the east side of town. So I looked at the other municipalities, Scarborough, Pickering, Markham, and they still don't add up to the same size. So it just gives you an idea of the geography that we're dealing with. You'd have to add Toronto, North York, and if you add Richmond Hill to that, that goes up to Aurora, they're about 30 kilometers larger than Nebing. So those of you in the middle, you're represented too. Just gonna go back a sec because I want to compare a few other things. Population. Nebing has 2,055 people as of the 2016 census. So when we say rural, remote, spread out municipality, if you think of the population of some of these other places and the population of Nebing, that gives you an idea. We have a budget that varies each year. In 2019, it was 4.2 million. In 2020, it was 5.6. In 2021, it was 7.7 because we had some larger road projects. A $27,000 increase in our budget represents a 1% increase in our residential property tax rate. So we have no growth or limited growth. I think last year we had real growth of just over 1%, which was a huge thing for us. We haven't had growth in a long time. And we have to really rely on our reserves because with our budget fluctuating so widely for projects, we need our reserves to stabilize our rates. We have 3 full-time office staff, so I'm one of 3 office staff. And we have 5 public works staff. So it just gives you an idea more of the size. Oh, sorry. So with Prudent Investor, there it is, we didn't have a capital plan in place. So I got here in 2019. Obviously, we have plans. You know, we had a brand new asset management plan. Actually, it was just finished in 2020 when I started. There was support from the mayor and the clerk treasurer. There was work that was already done towards a strategic plan. And thankfully, we had reserve funds that were already in one investment, and our reserve, and because of that, our reserve funds were not underfunded. And those were huge things. So why we started looking at Prudent Investor, we had support from like I say, the mayor and the clerk treasurer, but I really wanted us as a whole, and me being wanted as a whole, to think strategically. And one of the big important things, because we rely on our reserve funds, we really rely on their ability to protect our investments and to grow. And we needed more expertise. I'm not an investment person. I'm not even an accountant. I'm a treasurer, but I'm not an accountant. I'm a jack of all trades. I've got a degree in math, so that helps. I had no way to look forward. I didn't know when our money might run out. I didn't know when, if a bridge fails 5 years earlier, would we have enough money to do the projects that we need to do to repair our chip seal roads. So by pursuing this Prudent Investor route, it provided us a way to look forward and gave me some degree of future proofing. Could we do this? So how did we do it? We took our asset management plan and our financial plan, and luckily I hold both those things in my jurisdiction, and I looked at them both and I said, well, they don't match. So I cycled back and forth between them, because our asset management plan, so to give you an idea, chip seal roads, our asset management plan says that it's $474,000 a kilometer to replace our chip seal roads. Our council said it's $30,000 a kilometer to replace our chip seal roads, to renew our chip seal roads. Our roads public works foreman said it's $100,000 a kilometer. So I had to come up with something that married these two things together. And this is where a lot of municipalities are. I'm sure that their asset management people say one thing and their finance people say another thing. And it was really weird when you're both those people. So what I did was really smart. I said to the Prudent Investor people, I'm further away than I ever was before. I can't do this, And you know what? It was Keith who helped me out. And he said, get out of the weeds. He said, think about what you want, focus on there, and go top down instead of bottom up from your assets. And it really, really helped. And that allowed me to make assumptions and draft a capital plan. I reviewed our draft capital plans and assumptions with various internal committees, our council, auditors, and the folks at One Investment, and I got some phenomenal feedback that allowed us to have a plan that we think will work. What I told council is that a capital plan is a draft. This is a draft plan. It's a guideline. It gives us a direction of travel. Next year, I said, we're going to be reviewing this annually. With the Prudent Investor information, we have to review our information annually. We can't change our plan unless we have one. I went over some of the assumptions that I made in the capital plan. And I said, the decisions that we make are when we pass our budget. The capital plan shows direction, and that really helped. But I couldn't have done it without I couldn't have finished this process without being in the participating monthly meetings, the participating municipalities. That really helped me. There's a lot of trust involved when you present a capital plan to council, because they have to trust that we know our stuff, or that we've got our stuff in place. They have to trust us. I had to trust Keith and Colin that this was the best way forward, and it all worked. So because I joined the participating meetings, I could really, that allowed me to move forward. I couldn't have done a capital plan if I wasn't part of that group, because I needed that higher level focus, that top down focus. I was able to ask for help. That really helped. So for a small municipality, those two things I think are going to be really important going forward. In terms of our council, because we already used One Investment for our reserve, a lot of council that I've run into here in the north really wants to be seen to be responsible with their taxpayer dollars. And for some people, that means taking zero risk. And luckily, because we already used one investment for our reserve, our council was comfortable with some degree of risk. And it also helped that I did have supportive staff and council, because when I was doing this, it meant that I couldn't do some of my other jobs. So, and final thing that we had is we had just newly minted draft strategic plan. And we put a goal under governance that reads that we were going to adopt an attitude that supported asset management planning, including linking long-term planning documents with asset management. And so prudent investor to me is that we need that in order to join prudent investor. So that we meet that goal by being a part of prudent investor. So that's sort of the process for how I got here and what we did, and we're glad to be in front of you today.